This model demonstrates the female reproductive system, and we'll turn this a little bit. We'll be turning this model quite a bit. Up here you can see the ovary. This is the ovary. Here's an ovarian ligament that attaches the ovary to the uterus. Well, that's the uterus right there. And then here's the fallopian or uterine tube. And then the fallopian or uterine tube receives the ovulated secondary oocyte into it. Okay, and the fingers on the fallopian or uterine tube are called fimbriae, little finger-like structures. So you can see then on the back here that there's the ovary right there, and here's the fallopian tube, and it carries that ovulated secondary oocyte down to this structure, which is the uterus. The uterus is where if the egg gets fertilized, the fertilized egg is a zygote. It'll implant into the walls of that uterus. See, there's three layers of the uterus. The big muscle, that smooth muscle, is the myometrium. The lining is called the endometrium, and the covering is called the perimetrium. See, this is the uterus, and there's three layers. The lining is the endometrium, the muscular part is the myometrium, and the covering is called the perimetrium. Okay? And then we come down here, and this is called the area of the cervix. And then we have the vagina. The vagina. Okay, so, and then just to get oriented, this is the posterior of the model, and this is the anterior. This is the rectum. Behind the vagina is the rectum. Okay, here's the anus right down here, and in front of it is the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder, and then there's the woman's short urethra. So that's the female reproductive system. Let's review it. Okay. If we come around here, this gray type area, that's the ovary, and the ovary is attached by an ovarian ligament to the uterus. That's the uterus. This is the fallopian tube, and those are the fimbriae. And when the ovary ovulates, when it releases a secondary oocyte from the mature follicle, it enters into the fallopian tube. See that? Hope you are moving it around so you can see. And the fallopian tube is going to carry that down into the uterus. Usually fertilization, if there's a sperm available, while that secondary oocyte is moving down that fallopian tube, that's where fertilization will take place. Okay, so let's swing it around this way. This is the uterus. Three layers to the uterus: the endometrium, the myometrium, and the perimetrium. This area of the lower uterus is called the cervix, and this is the woman's vagina, which receives the penis during sexual intercourse so that the male can ejaculate semen containing sperm into the vagina, which will then go on a long trip up the vagina, through the cervix, through the uterus, all the way up into the fallopian tube. This is the posterior of the woman. This is the anterior. This is the urinary bladder. Here's her short urethra. And then here is the rectum, the holding thing for the solid waste materials. So that's the female reproductive tract.